Welcome to Chrisley Confessions 2.0. Crazy morning already.
Crazy morning.
I mean, Savannah's on The View today.
Yes.
And I got up this morning before you. Well, actually, you got up first because you took Chloe to school.
Yes.
Then you came back.
I got up real early. I got up at 4:30 this morning. I don't know what in the world. Usually I wake up around like 3 a.m. And there's something, I need to do some research because there's something about when people wake up around 3 a.m. I don't know. I've seen it before. But normally it's 3. Now it was 4:15 this morning. And I was just kind of on and off until I got up for the day.
I wonder if that's the time that I start feeling like somebody's touching me.
Okay, no, it's not. I can assure you.
That might be
not.
around 4. I'm doing it myself.
You're disgusting.
But so you got up, took Chloe to school, came back, got back on the bed.
We actually went to Starbucks first.
Right.
And I brought you your drink.
My soy chai tea
Even
latte.
before, folks. Then, as I am taking her to school, he calls me and says, yes, yeah, that would be great. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, that you said you're going to get me Starbucks. And I was like, I already had it. He didn't know. So Chloe wanted Starbucks. We went and got Starbucks this morning.
I do that to her folks all the time.
Yeah.
I'll say, Julie, that is so nice of you. And she goes, what? You just asked me if I wanted so much. Todd, I didn't ask you that. Julie, you just, and she stands there and thinks to herself.
He makes me think I'm crazy. And that doesn't take much these days.
Well, either way, I appreciate it.
So I got up, took Chloe to school, went to Starbucks, came back home. I took the dog out, the new dog.
Again, not
that's
our
back
dog.
from the trainer.
Not our dog.
But I took her out this morning. She did good overnight, so that was good. Took her out. Then fed her, took her back out.
Mm-hmm. But I thought you told me you were not going to do this again.
I know, but I don't know why. I keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. And you know what they say.
And here's
That's
the thing,
sign of
folks.
insanity.
This is the second French bulldog that our family has had.
Actually, the third, because my mom had one too.
But that's don't really count because, I mean, we didn't deal with her little fat dog. She kept
but
hers.
she took care of her dog.
Yeah. But until it came time for the vet bill, and then she's like, nah, she got to die.
That's not true. She took care of her dog to the end, honey.
But, we had Lilo, which was Chase's dog. Then we ended up getting her.
Yes.
And she passed away when we were on our summer retreat.
Yeah.
Which was so hard because I really felt that because I don't really want animals in my house, and I'm not an animal person. But I fell in love with this dog. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was that was a tough one.
I would go out on our back porch in the mornings, and I'd sit there and I'd be on my laptop, and she was right at my feet. Mm-hmm. Wherever I went, she followed. Same with you.
Yeah.
And so that was hard to lose her. And then Chase ends up a year later, 15 months later, he ends up now with another one, a long-haired. Is that what she's called?
I think a long-haired Frenchie.
Long-haired Frenchie or whatever, Millie. And I don't know what it is that we've just gotten lucky because this dog is smart. I mean, he sent her to training.
Yes.
And they taught her, the code word is talk shit. Millie, talk shit. And she will sit there and start barking at you.
Yeah, she was.
It was the funniest thing.
But the thing that Chase has to realize is that
he has to reinforce it.
Continue it. That's what they were saying yesterday when we went to pick her up. Like it's a learned behavior.
Like a child.
You have to keep it up. And, right now, and she was good. Like she would go get in her bed. She would stay. You can take her outside, tell her to empty, and she goes to the bathroom. That's amazing.
Yes.
But you have to keep it up.
Right.
So I guess that's why I took her out this morning to try to do the right thing.
To make your future job easier.
Yeah.
I got you.
Basically.
So
I did that.
You did that.
Then I made 2 different chicken salads this morning.
Okay, you're getting ahead of yourself. This is not going to be an episode about everything you've done for the day.
No, but I made 2 different chicken salads this morning. I made some chicken last night, so did that you were happy with.
Very much so.
You liked it. And then we were rushing around trying to get ready so we could watch The View before we had to come
And she,
record.
of course, couldn't get the TV above her bathtub on. And she kept telling me just talking to the remote control. And it wasn't doing whatever I needed to do.
that little TV's a little weird. But
and I just said, to hell with it. And so I went in the family room and put it on.
Yeah.
Because my daughter
yeah.
was so pretty today on The View.
Yes.
And
was.
I was very hesitant about her going on there. I actually wasn't. I don't think hesitant's the right word.
You didn't want her to.
I did not want her to do it. And I have never had a problem with Whoopi. Ever, ever. She's always been very kind to us, always been very supportive, and I've always liked her. I don't know the other women on there.
Right.
I don't know Sunny. I don't know Joey. I don't know the other two, Anna, and the other one, Sarah. And Sarah I watched today, and I actually thought she came across as sweet. Now, I don't know, folks, if that's just them trying to lead my daughter, the little lamb, to slaughter. But my little lamb is also very good at slaughtering.
Yeah, she looked so good. She had her yellow on. And what is yellow? Isn't that like friendship? Isn't that a sign of friendship, the color yellow?
I just think it reminds me of butter.
Well,
butter and sunshine.
We used to always say in real estate, yellow is the perfect color for a kitchen because it makes a fat person think of butter and a skinny person think of sunshine.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see the color yellow, because I think there was some thought behind that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So she wore yellow as a kind of like, I come in peace?
Peace. Yellow represents optimism, happiness, and energy. That was perfect.
There you go. Okay.
We're going to say it anyway. We're going to say she planned it all out.
Whether she did that or not.
Yeah, we're going to say it was completely planned out.
But she did great today.
Yeah.
The ladies on there were,
Right.
I sensed a little something from from two of them, that they,
But I think you expect it on that show. I don't think you go on that show and think that it's going to be, Wednesday night prayer group. Everyone's going to be sweet
but it shouldn't be a bitch bash either.
No.
I think that when you're dealing with The View, I felt that Whoopi was very respectful.
Yeah.
I felt Sarah was. Joey, I think, is just dismissive.
Right.
Because it's not what she wants to hear.
Right.
Sunny, she gave a little bit of side eye.
Right.
But, she's been respectful thus far.
Right.
And I'm just not going to get down in the gutter and talk about these women.
And because at the end of the day,
then I'm doing the same thing that everybody else is complaining about them doing.
And at the end of the day, this is an amazing experience for her. This is one of those moments, like I co-hosted The View for a week.
Well, I mean, you and I will agree to disagree on that.
I think it's a great experience for her because you know what? We all know that we grow when we don't grow when we're in an environment that everyone thinks the same as us and it's comfortable. We grow in those moments that are hard. We grow in those moments when we're with people who don't see things the way we see them.
But I've always said that. I've always said that. I just said that this past week sitting at our dining room table, that you don't learn from sitting in a room full of people that say the exact same thing you're saying.
Right.
But it's also hard to learn when you're in a room of people who refuse to hear your version of it or your perception of something.
Right. But that is what it is. And those women, I mean, let's face it, Joy, Sunny, Whoopi, you're not going to, that's like saying you're going to change.
No, but here's the thing.
At your age and you believe the way you believe, you're just not apt to change.
But here's the thing. I don't need you to change.
Right.
I need you to be respectful of the fact that I don't believe the way you believe. And that doesn't make me a monster.
Right. No, not at all.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to ever say anything about Whoopi because, I've always loved her. Yeah. I had been with Whoopi, as she said today on the show, when she was talking about the men she's been with. Y'all all know what men I've laid down with because, hell, it's been on the Enquirer and everything else. Right. I know, too.
I know.
So, I mean,
it was a little crazy to see when we were actually on The View back in what was 2015. Oh, my gosh. And Chase and Savannah were so young.
What Whoopi said, you were a baby then.
Yeah.
And, I just think that if there's one thing that I hope that people take away from our family so far at this part of the journey that we're on called life, is that there is redemption.
Right.
There is restoration.
Right.
And that has happened because literally we're living a Joseph moment right now.
Right.
And, I look at what those that came against us, and the weapon they formed was for our destruction. And look at how that's come back on them.
Yeah.
Look what those people are going through now.
Right.
Look at the jobs that have been lost. Look at the people who are now getting ready, that are being sued. Look at all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that, to see her there today, because I have very little in common with any of the views on The View, and would love the opportunity to sit at the end of that table.
Right.
But to watch my daughter, who is a young woman, 28 years old, who has carried a cross, she carried a cross, and to see her sit there and just shine.
Yeah.
To see the joy in her life and in her eyes, to know that she's at probably the happiest place she's ever been in her life. And folks, God has a wicked sense of humor. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Sure. Have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, it's this amazing site that I order from all the time. And I've talked to you guys about Goldbelly many, many times because I've ordered so much from them. Goldbelly will ship you iconic Chicago deep dish pizza from Lou Malnati or New York's most famous cheesecake from Junior's. And if you're craving barbecue, they'll ship the legendary Franklin's barbecue straight from Texas to your door. And I have talked about from the bagel board to lobster rolls. And with St. Patrick's Day just around the corner, I am actually doing their green velvet shamrock cupcakes. But the thing that I love about Goldbelly is every time I've ordered, no matter what, everything comes in, it's fresh. Their quality is unmatched. It's super easy. Everything is packaged. It arrives safely and in amazing condition. So I would urge you, whether it's a game, whether it's a special occasion, whether you want to give it to somebody, Goldbelly has you covered. So if you're looking for that perfect gift or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal, the next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code Confessions. That's goldbelly.com, code Confessions for 20% off your first order. I've been wearing makeup for a long time, but there's just a few things that I don't like about makeup. I don't like that heavy caked on look. I don't like that if it takes me forever to accomplish because my mornings are always busy. And I don't want a ton of products. That's why I'm absolutely loving Jones Road Beauty. They actually enhance your skin instead of masking it with layers of makeup. And the Miracle Balm replaces multiple steps in your routine. It can be used as a highlighter, bronzer, blush, lip tint. It's the ultimate no-fuss multitasker. And the best part, all their products are actually good for your skin. Every formula is packed with skin-loving ingredients. It nourishes your skin instead of clogging or caking, and it looks and feels natural, like you're not wearing makeup at all. Jones Road also has a brand new product, their Shadow Stick. It's creamy, high pigment eyeshadow stick. It's designed for real life. You swipe on and blend with your fingers. No brush, no fallout, no fuss. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for effortless routines. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a free shimmer oil on their first purchase when they use code Chrisley at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code Chrisley at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
And I think that because Savannah and I, as we've said, Savannah and I don't see eye to eye on everything.
Right.
I do see, I think I'm more liberal than Savannah is. Savannah's more diehard.
Right.
And I kind of fall right in that middle area. I've always been in that middle area.
Right.
And as she tells me, because you want to play it safe. You want to ride the fence.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. And I said, no, but I also don't believe that my opinion matters more than anyone else's.
Right.
And I'm not, and I don't want
to. You have to.
She's 28.
When you were her age, I'm sure you were.
When I was her age, I was way more liberal.
Yes, and you were way more, but you were way more opinionated too. You've learned over with age and time that you don't have to always be heard. It's not going to change how you feel. It's not going to change your opinion. No. And so age has a way of just doing that, and life has a way of doing that to you. So it's fine. She's going to be fine.
She's better than fine.
Yeah.
So I was very proud of her today.
Yeah.
We'll see what tomorrow, folks, Wednesday brings. For this week, and Thursday and Friday and Saturday, because she's also doing the Weekend View.
Right. That's like a streaming, right? Isn't that a streaming?
I think so. It's all pop culture.
Yeah. Oh, which I would love that. See, I would be good at that because I am good at pop culture.
Well, y'all are good at that because y'all like the gossip.
Yeah, but I would be good at that. So I would.
See, they love the gossip. They just hate when somebody gossips about us. Me, on the other hand, I stay away from that shit.
I don't mind it. Because you know what? Like you said, and we've always said this, we put ourselves out there. Mm-hmm. We signed up for it. Now, did we know what we were signing up for when we signed up? No. Mm-hmm. But we continue to do it. We continue to feed into it to a certain degree. Right. So you know what? It is what it is.
I want to go on the record of kind of where we as a family stand on these Epstein files. You and I have had our private conversations, and so many people have come to me on social media and said your silence is deafening about these Epstein files. What do you want me to say to you that has not already been said?
Right.
If you don't believe what a gazillion other people have said, how am I going to change your opinion? And why would I want to? If you believe... this is just my opinion.
Okay.
They're all guilty as hell. But just because your name ended up in that damn list could have, a prime example is the Ghislaine Maxwell. Carol Radswell, wasn't she the one that was on the Housewives of New York? Her name was in there.
Right.
But she was communicating with someone else on Ghislaine's behalf about doing a photo shoot for a book.
Right.
But now her name's been thrown up as on the Epstein list.
Right, so you can't say every one of them's guilty. You just said everybody's guilty. I
said I think they're all guilty as hell, but just because your name's in there doesn't mean you're guilty of anything.
You're not saying they're all. You're saying there are many who are guilty.
Guilty, exactly.
Who did wrong in many ways.
Red and blue.
Right, but just because your name is in there doesn't mean you did something wrong.
Exactly. And so my thing is that we know what it's like to be falsely accused. Right. We know what it's like to have people to tell lies on us.
Yes. Yes.
So, folks, I'm going to reserve that. I'm not going to cast that judgment.
Right.
I'm just going to say that if you go out on a Friday night and you have a fight, that's bad luck. You go out on Saturday, you get another fight, damn, we need to look at this. You go out on Sunday night and get in a fight, you are the cause of the fight.
Right.
So if your name keeps popping up on some shady shit that even remotely gets close to a child.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is that we will never condone anybody being hurt or abused.
Forget being a child. I don't want any human being hurt, but a child.
A child.
And you know where I stand on that.
Right. So absolutely.
So I just want to
I think it's very convoluted. Because there's so much to it.
Well, Sonny said today, and so many of my people are going to disagree with what I'm getting ready to say. Sonny said today, there's 6 million documents.
Right.
But there's only been 3 million released.
Right.
She has a point there.
Right.
If we're going to be transparent, dump all that shit out there on the table in the streets.
Right.
The taxpayers deserve to know.
Right.
Show it. Show everything about our case. Dump it out there in the streets. Let the world know it.
Right.
Because right now, if they put all of our shit out there, you're going to expose 2 former U.S. attorneys, an FBI agent, an IRS agent. Put it all out there.
Right. But I think that the tricky part comes with putting it all out there and nothing being redacted is you do have these victims.
But
so
we've
at what
already
point
released documents with these victims' names in it. So at this point, it's the redaction doesn't mean jack fuck because you've already put the names out there. You've already released in these 3,000 documents, 3 million documents, you've already released victims' names.
Yeah.
So at that point, and you've got victims coming out saying, you put our name out there.
Right.
Well, now their name's out there. So then what's the excuse of holding it back?
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there.
It's just a
And, you know,
it's a complicated, convoluted, and like we just said earlier, it's been going on for so long.
And again, I'm stealing some of the bullet points today from The View because, you know, I'm not a fan of Sunny. I think that Sunny she wants to be negative about everything. Mm-hmm. But that's some people's personality. And again, how did she get to be to that point in her life? What has happened with her? Because she used to be with the DOJ, so she's seen some shady shit.
Right.
She knows how this stuff works behind the scenes,
right.
And she acknowledged that today.
Right.
But my thing is that you cannot get to the bottom of anything unless there's 100% transparency. Folks, whose feelings are we trying to save at this point? Right. I mean, if you're going to accuse me of something, then I need you to prove that. Because now you've just said, oh, his name is in the Epstein files. Bring it to the floor. Right. Bring it to Congress. Mm-hmm. Show the documents. Release it and show why you think I did something wrong.
Right.
To me, it's far worse to be implicated than it is for the facts to come out. Because if you did nothing wrong, you should not want to live under the implication of impropriety.
Right. Yeah.
You should be welcoming these documents to come out.
Right.
I watched a thing. Now, I'm not a Clinton fan. You know that. Mm-hmm. Although my mother was. My mother had I think Bill Clinton was the only man that my mother had the hots for, you know, outside of my daddy. I find it ironic, not even ironic, just hypocritical, that a subpoena was sent for Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify regarding the Epstein files. They fought it every step of the way.
Right.
Did not want anything to do with it, and literally did not show up.
Right.
Now, look at Steve Bannon.
But didn't they eventually testify?
Who?
Bill and Hillary.
No, they haven't.
Okay.
Look at Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro. Look at the people that refused to go and testify.
Right.
Republicans went to prison for that.
Right.
Steve Bannon went 4 months to prison for that.
Rather than testify?
Rather than to testify. Well, he didn't testify.
Right.
And because of that, the DOJ prosecuted him.
Right.
Under the Biden administration, they prosecuted him.
Right.
I'm not quite sure why under this administration, we're not prosecuting any fucker that refuses to show up for a subpoena, red, white, or purple. If you get a subpoena, you and I both know with a subpoena, we're not attorneys, but we know we have to show up.
Yeah.
How many depositions in our case did we get served a subpoena through our attorney that we had to show up for?
Yeah.
Folks, that's not a thing that you can say, I'm not doing it. But now this morning...
But I guess you can unless they hold you in contempt of court, right?
But now this morning, Hillary's it was crazy. I literally thought I was going to lose my shit the other day. She's in Munich. She's there on a panel, and she's talking about that under her husband's administration and under Obama's administration, that they deported more illegal immigrants than this administration has. But they did it in a more humane manner. But you just said that your husband and Obama deported more immigrants with less force. I can go with that because I don't believe in harming anyone, period.
No.
I don't believe we ought to be putting our hands on anyone.
No.
Do I believe in law and order? I do.
Right.
Do I believe, first of all, ICE was established, it's bipartisan. It was established by agreement on both sides or it wouldn't have passed.
Right.
Only when corruption it's getting close to bubbling to the top do politicians want to start trying to push it, playing whack-a-mole, trying to push it back down. But she's over there bragging about all the illegal immigrants that they deported under their administrations.
Right.
And that it's a problem, folks. She says this, go look it up. Immigration is a huge issue. It went bad. It went wrong, way wrong. These are her words. And we need to correct it, but in a more humane manner.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
But now this morning she comes out and says, listen, Bill and I are all for, transparency. We have no problem testifying. I mean, I have limited knowledge. I don't even think I've met the man. You also don't think that you was involved in the Russia hoax. You also don't remember your computers being destroyed. So my thing is that let's drop the hypocrisy bullshit on both sides. Let's just drop it on both sides. If you did it, you did it.
Right.
If you didn't, stand up and say you didn't.
Right.
And then say, you know what? You have falsely accused me of something. You either prove it or I'm going to sue you for slander and defamation of character.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right.
And,
yeah.
But we got so much corruption in that swamp to where this one did a favor 25 years ago for this one that now needs one, and back and forth.
So much so that people are willing to go to prison for it.
People are killing for it.
Yeah, and killing. Yeah, it's bad.
So
it's crazy. Okay, guys, it's 2026, and we got to start cooking like it's 2026. And if you have a nonstick pan, you're trading real cooking performance for convenience. It can't get hot enough, food doesn't cook evenly, and not to mention the coating scratches and wears out fast. And if you have stainless steel, the performance can be great, but cooking starts to feel like work instead of fun. Everything sticks and the cleanup is absolutely miserable. So let me introduce you to Hexclad pans. With Hexclad, you can finally have the performance of stainless steel and the convenience of nonstick in one pan. Its hybrid design gives you the heat distribution of stainless steel, and cleanup is a breeze. Hexclad checks every box when it comes to selecting your cookware. It's dishwasher safe and simple to wipe clean after use. It's also oven safe up to 900 degrees. I have so many recipes that start out on the top of the stove, on the cooktop, and then they go to the oven. And I love the fact that I can do it all in my Hexclad. There's a reason Gordon Ramsay uses Hexclad at home and in his restaurants. And we all know he's the toughest critic on the planet. Also, Hexclad products come with a lifetime warranty. It's literally the last set of pots and pans you'll ever have to buy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/Chrisley, support our show, and check them out at hexclad.com/Chrisley. Make sure to let them know we sent you. Bon appetit. Let's cook with Hexclad revolutionary cookware. A new season is the perfect time to refresh your routine and give your skin the attention it deserves. And with iRestore's spring savings happening right now, it's an ideal moment to upgrade your skincare. Enter the Illumina Face Mask, which I am absolutely loving. It is a dermatologist recommended at-home treatment with 360 medical grade LED. It uses red, infrared, and blue light to target fine lines, breakouts, sun damage, and inflammation. No complicated routine required. I am absolutely loving my Illumina face mask. It is super easy to use. It's a great way just to relax, but also know that you're doing something good for yourself. And because skincare doesn't stop at your face, there's the Illumina neck and chest mask. It delivers powerful, targeted treatment with 230 medical grades LED, nearly double what you'll find in other popular masks. Both masks are cordless, comfortable, and simple to use. The perfect upgrade if you're focused on elevating your routine. If you want to level up your skincare routine this year, pair the Renew Calming Facial Spray and Anti-Aging Eye Cream with your Illumina face mask. Use them together. That gives your skin a complete treatment for even better results. And if you subscribe and save, you get 25% off or more, plus free shipping. So give your skin the love it deserves this season. Right now, iRestore is running their spring savings, and with code Chrisley at iRestore.com, you can unlock an exclusive discount on the Illumina face mask. That's code Chrisley at iRestore.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Start the year feeling refreshed, confident, and glowing. Savannah Guthrie. This has just baffled me, really. I just find it still so hard to believe that nobody saw anything, that nobody captured anything. I mean, yes, we have at the door where, he was messing with the Ring camera, all that stuff. But between cameras on the streets, I mean, we have cameras on our streets.
But those cameras that are on the streets do not, they only record traffic pattern. They do not record video.
Right.
It's traffic pattern to regulate the red lights.
Between that and other people's Ring cameras, I just find it hard to believe that
no one caught
nobody
anything.
saw anything.
But I've done my research on that. all of these homes on her street sit back from the road. So they've got a deep front yard.
And I know they have lots of foliage and
Right.
that kind of stuff. I know, but it just, in this day and time, it's just hard to believe that nobody saw anything.
My heart breaks for anyone going through this.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the subscription was not paid for.
Well, I don't understand, like,
Because you
This is
pay
what-
mama's bills every day.
okay, yeah, this is what I don't understand, though. It's
And y'all ain't stealing my little mama because we got her under lock. We got her on lockdown now.
if it was about money,
Where's the demand?
And these demand letters were legitimate, okay, then to me, and I'm just speaking here, in a twisted mind, if you kidnap somebody for money with a demand letter and they didn't meet that demand, then it seems like to me you would have sent something to either say that she was no longer here with us or something to show like, okay, I did what I said I was going to do. But I don't really think they know if the ransoms are because to me,
But
if
here's
you
the
don't
thing.
do anything,
The ransom is
after
not from these ransom requests are not from the people who have her.
The first one was, but then there was another one that wanted the 1 Bitcoin to say who was involved or the people involved. So it's 2 different originators of these ransoms. There originally was a ransom, and that was kind of vague and like, you know, they did one and then they extended it and did another one. Okay, we're going to give you to this time. And then nothing ever happened. And then the other is saying, give me a Bitcoin and I will
and
basically
he just
tell
saw
who
her
it
5
was.
days ago with people.
With people, more than one person. So it just, I don't
I think
understand. It
it's
seems so
heartbreaking.
weird because to me,
Nothing
why
adds
else
up.
would you want an 84-year-old woman
Other than for ransom.
for ransom to
Right.
think I'm going to get some quick money out of this, get the money, be done with it, leave her on the side of the road or whatever you're going to do. But it's not. It's turning into so much more than that, and I don't understand it.
It's baffling to me. And you know who I can't stand?
Who?
Is that damn sheriff out there.
Yeah, he is.
He reminds me of some dickhead that would work for the BOP. That's who he reminds
Yeah,
me of.
probably.
Somebody who thinks they know more than what they know.
Yeah.
And he's arrogant.
Yeah.
When the FBI, this is the FBI. Now, granted, FBI in our case was corrupt. But this is all we got to work with, folks.
Right.
When the FBI stepped in, he should have stepped out because
Yeah.
his ass is incompetent. He don't know. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened there.
Right. Right.
He should have stepped to the side and said, you know what? To save my reputation and my department's reputation, we're going to hand this off to y'all.
Yes. Yes.
Rather than him think he's going to hold on and be a control freak.
Right, because they sent the glove for the DNA to
His lab.
in Florida rather than send it to Quantico.
Right. He reminds me of Albert Cheatham at Pensacola.
Well,
you know, just
it's just I don't
minus the sexual charges.
I don't understand that because now it's got to still go through the FBI to be verified. So you could have cut a whole step out, and a day or an hour could mean the difference between life or
But
death.
even
really.
that whole story is baffling. You find one black glove
2 miles away.
2 miles away, and then along with all these other blue gloves that the guys that with the sheriff's department was just discarding.
Yeah.
Well, they broke a law right there. They should not be throwing trash on the ground.
Right.
And you find this one glove.
I know it's weird. That's very weird
That
to
is
me.
baffling to me.
It's very weird. I think they need to be tracking down because they have said this backpack came from Walmart.
How many people buy backpacks at Walmart?
I don't care. They said they can figure out like where it came from, which Walmart.
Well, they
need to
have
be doing
figured
it.
out where it came from Walmart.
Yeah,
But that ain't helping us when there was millions of them sold.
I know. I don't. It's just crazy. Oh my God, it would be. I feel so bad for all of them
But
because
now-
it's so that would be just like the not knowing is the worst part.
But now you're seeing all this stuff that's going on in the news, and y'all have bitched at me for years about being overly paranoid.
I know.
Look at some of the things that I've been overly paranoid about that is coming to fruition.
I know.
And now my mother is afraid. She's afraid to be by herself now. So, you know, I don't understand.
That's coming to an end.
Yes,
So
that's coming to an end.
yes.
She's moving into our new house with us. She has her own little wing to where she will be on her side. Folks, I have to tell y'all this. So we were talking about it the other night, and I said, Mama, you know, you have your own wing of the house. You know, you'll have your space. And she goes, it's still walking distance to you, and that's too close.
She did say that.
And I said, she said, if it was just me and Julie, I said, well, Julie can live on your side of the house with you.
No, she means just me and her in a
Right,
house.
that's what she said. She said, no, just me and Julie in the house. So that is coming to an end.
Yeah.
But I don't understand because we are so on top of everything with her. And Savannah's in New York, but the sister's around the corner. How is that Ring doorbell subscription not paid to be recording full time?
I don't know.
So, I mean,
I
that is a problem for me.
It is, but you know, things happen and things get overlooked.
Yeah, but things can't be getting overlooked when it comes to my mama.
And it I don't know. I don't know that it would have even mattered because they were able to pull it off.
They were able to pull that little bit off.
Right.
But she had another camera on the top of her guest house out there that they went back and took down because the neighbor told them, well, there's another camera, you know, that does the back of her house.
Right.
And they went and removed that. Mm-hmm. So if that had been recording, they would have gotten that footage, and it wasn't.
Well.
So I can just tell you right now, they better not nothing happen to my mama on my brother's watch. Because I'm going to be at that point, I'm going to be minus a brother.
Well, it's the whole thing's horrible. And I'm sure that she feels bad. And, you know, I mean, all you can say is I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda, whatever. But, you know, you don't think about anything bad happen until it happens.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. You don't think that, you know, she had a nice home in a nice area. You know, you dropped her off. You had dinner with her. You don't think that's the last time I'm going to see my mom.
But I don't understand this whole Uber shit either. Your mom at 84 years old getting in an Uber. I would never put Faye in an Uber. I would not do that. I'm not running that risk of somebody kidnapping my mama or hurting her feelings or saying something that would hurt her feelings. No, I'm not.
I don't know, but that's not, I mean.
No.
Everybody's not the same as you.
You're right. Everyone's not the same.
Gotta...
But I still got my mama.
Right.
So maybe if we understand that when our parents get to a certain age, that we have to be more assertive and aggressive in the care that we provide.
You're right.
And the caution that needs to be taken.
You're right.
So, I mean, do I not tell my mother to stay out of a casino? She's going to get hurt. She's going to fall. Something's going to happen to her.
Yeah.
What happened to her that I had to get on a plane years ago and do? Yeah. I was in Saks Fifth Avenue in the dressing room.
She fell.
She fell and broke her pelvis.
Yes. In a casino.
In a casino. And I had to
wouldn't let us know.
Right. And I had to get on a plane, fly there, go to the hospital, sleep in the room with her until she was discharged, rent a car because she could not get on the plane, remember?
Yes, I do.
To bring her back to Georgia.
Yes.
So, no, I'm staying on top of my mama. She can bitch all she wants to, but she's going to be there to bitch. So, I mean, it breaks my heart. I don't wish no family to go through what they're going through. And I saw that video of Savannah last night on Instagram, and it just broke my heart to see the pain in her eyes and to see how, I mean, she's like literally just surviving. Mm-hmm. You can see she's just surviving.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart for her. So, I mean, you know, my heart goes out to her. And I mean, we're going to lift them up in prayer and pray that God will bless them and make some sense out of what's going on here and return their mother to them. Yeah. So that, you know, that's going to be my prayer.
And I think that's what her last plea was. Just
bring my mama home.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Just
bring her home.
You know,
let us have her back.
Whatever that looks like.
Right.
You know?
Let us have her back.
That's
just so sad.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, so we've got that going on. We've discussed that. I did want to go back to something I saw on Twitter on X this morning, that Chelsea Clinton posted that the Epstein files that this administration with the Epstein files and the corruption in them and all that. She was just saying a bunch of shit. Honey, no.
Yeah. Based off some of the pictures that have been leaked, I think I would just stay away from it. Just
as a famous writer in the South in Georgia used to say, Louis Grizzard, I don't think I'd have told that. I'd have just let that alone. When there's pictures of your pedo dad over there on the island, and Hillary, your mother, just said this morning, before testimony, folks, in a couple of weeks, my husband was on the flight log and did utilize the plane multiple times for his charity work. Mm-hmm. Charity work. So, if I was Chelsea, I just think that I'd stay away from that. I wouldn't go near it.
Okay, I want to take a minute to share something really important to me, and that's Good Girl RX, a female-focused health and wellness company created by my daughter, Savannah. As women, we so often put everyone else first and ignore our own health, or we're just told to push through instead of being truly listened to. What I love about Good Girl RX is that it's built around real medical care and compassion. Through their telehealth platform, women can meet virtually with licensed medical providers who take the time to review your health history and goals. If it's clinically appropriate, your provider may discuss personalized treatment options, including GLP-1 medications like tirzepatide, as well as wellness therapies such as NAD. Everything is determined by a doctor and tailored to the individual. As a mother, it means everything to me that this company was created to help women feel supported instead of judged. Everyone's journey is different. Results vary, and not everyone qualifies, but having access to licensed physicians who truly listen can make all the difference. If you're ready to take a step toward prioritizing your health, visit goodgirlrx.com and use code CONFESSIONS15 for 15% off at checkout. Medical care is provided by licensed physicians.
I did want to talk about some stuff with the BOP. I went and toured Maxwell at Montgomery, Alabama, and was there all day.
Yeah.
Literally didn't leave until like 4:45.
Yeah, I was like freaking out thinking, oh my God.
She thought they'd put me back in.
I thought they had put him in the garbage disposal or something.
But I toured the food services and found all the violations there. I toured medical or the lack thereof and brought light to the lack of medical care, the lack of education that was being offered there at Montgomery or at Maxwell. I toured commissary to look and see if these men were being given what they're supposed to be given and being allowed to shop. And I addressed so many concerns for so many individuals, one of those being the RDAP program there, the residential drug treatment program, and how the BOP is yet once again failing miserably. Men sitting there waiting to join this program to get their year off, and yet they're not pushing them through, and they're losing that year because it takes 9 months to finish the program. Mm-hmm. Well, they've already been there 8 months. Well, now they may be getting ready to go home. So they lost that opportunity to get that year.
And a lot of times once they start the program, they have to finish it.
Because if you don't, you get no credit.
Right. So I have a friend right now that should have already been at the halfway house, but because she hasn't finished the program yet, she has to stay till I think it's April.
Right. And so, I went and did that, and I'm going to be doing more tours of the Bureau of Prisons, of their facilities, and continuing to expose the things that are wrong and the abuse and the neglect. But I've had great feedback, as you know, because you're there with me every day and you hear these calls. But I've had great feedback from the administration, of the exposure that was brought out. And folks, when I tell you, I did that inspection that day, and the next day, emails were sent out from the director. He wanted all issues addressed, and he wanted a response back that day. And the rec department, who under the supervision of one of the most incompetent women in the Bureau, and that's saying something because there's a lot of them, she decided to shut down the rec yard because she didn't want to have to be bothered with supervising. That's what you're there for. And these are grown men. It's not childcare. They don't need to be supervised. This is a camp.
Right.
But that's been reopened. The men have their rec yard back.
Right.
They've got
And
their
people
softball
don't
league
realize
back.
that
What
just
that means.
being able to sit outside, being able to have sunshine, and being able to be active. I mean, it helps with depression. It helps with anger. It helps with so many different things.
Yes.
And they just refuse to acknowledge that,
Because
which is just crazy to me.
these people within the Bureau of Prisons have such a low level of education that all they think of is, I've got authority. That badge and that title gives them a feeling of what someone who goes to college and walks across the stage and gets a diploma, it gives them validation.
Right.
That position gives them validation to abuse. So,
But I mean, it's crazy to me because, you know, you don't realize it until you don't have it. You know, like I was in transit for 52 days where I didn't have that ability just to go sit outside and, you know, have the sunlight or be able to walk a track and
that
things
is
like that.
And that is something that Director Marshall is working on as well, is about this this transit thing. He wants that done away with. You know, Director Marshall is really, really, really focusing on the abuse, on staff members not providing the services that the BOP is obligated to provide per Congress and per the monies that are being spent for these programs. And I'm grateful to God that we have him, because at the end of the day, folks, I've always said it, you got to cut the head off the snake if you ever want to fix anything beneath it. And because that head with Colette Peters has been removed, and I want to talk about that in a second too, it's so different right now. When I was walking through that prison, you know, those men would stop me and say, what you're doing is making a difference. Whether you know it or not, we're being treated differently. And I spoke there, you know, to 200 men and corrected a lot of their issues with their RDAP while I was there. And men that were more than 500 miles away from their family are being sent closer to their family, because if we're going to follow policy with the BOP, the policy goes both ways. So if we have a policy at the BOP that says you cannot be more than 500 miles from your family, then that's what it means. So I had everyone to raise their hands that was more than 500 miles away, took their names down. They made a list this morning. They're being sent closer to their families so they can get visitations. If you were there at Montgomery or in Maxwell at Montgomery and you were sent there for RDAP and you've been on a waiting list and now you've lost the ability to gain that 12 months, you're being sent closer to your family to where you can finish out your time. And it's unfortunate that you got screwed out of your time, but that has happened.
Right.
But the other men that are eligible and that can get that full year, they will stay and they'll go in, so that we clean this up. We're not repeating the pattern.
Right.
But I do see light. I do see progress being made every day with the Bureau of Prisons. And I'm so grateful for that. You know, I've got a huge focus on these halfway houses now and the corruption that's going on in those and the abuse that's going on there. So I'm heavily focused on that. And I've got other people that I'm working with that's kind of, you know, investigating these halfway houses. And thank God for Dana, who is over halfway houses for the Bureau of Prisons. This woman is so committed to doing the right thing that she is holding these individuals accountable. If you abuse someone on our watch and we're paying you, you're out. Yeah. Now, I would like it to go further. You're out and you're in court and you're being held accountable for what you did. But I wanted to touch on this because, folks, only in this country, Colette Peters was the director of the Bureau of Prisons. The same woman who was interviewed by Juju Chang on Nightline for Aliceville, who had a conversation with Colette Peters, a female, folks, about the rapes that was going on at Dublin of these women. Now, this is not hearsay. It's been proven. The BOP has settled, you know, tens of millions of dollars in lawsuits. Staff members there, wardens, chaplains, COs have been found guilty. They're in prison. Right. So this is not hearsay. Juju Chang asked her, do you feel that you owe as the director of the Bureau of Prisons, do you feel you owe these women an apology for what they've been through? And she looked in the camera and said, no.
Yeah. I was sitting in prison and watched that interview.
And how as a woman did that make you feel?
And that just, it literally was so baffling. And this was the other part of it too. The girls that were there that had been in that program at Aliceville, which is really what it was supposed to highlight, and they didn't. They didn't. You know, you could see how defeated they were because they were like, this was a really good program, and they really didn't even highlight it. You know, Colette didn't do a very good job of highlighting the program.
She didn't do anything.
And yeah, I mean, so I was sitting in prison watching that, and they asked her, you know, okay, well, how many employees do you need to hire? We don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. How do you, as the head, not know these things? Well, and how do you not feel responsible? Because
as a
ultimately, as a woman, but let's just look at it as a business owner. You know yourself, the way that it works is that if you don't even know, you should know because you're the owner.
We were convicted of that.
You're the head of the BOP. So if you don't know, you should know because you're the head of it.
What did our prosecutor say to the jury?
Right.
If the Chrisleys did not know it, okay, great. They should have. They're intelligent.
Right. But she didn't view it that way. So to say that basically, I don't owe anybody an apology.
Was so rogue and so disingenuous and was just so narcissistic.
Right.
But I don't even know if you know what I'm going to say. So this woman who left the Bureau of Prisons, she was uninvited to stay, who was uninvited to stay with the Bureau of Prisons, left the new director with a shit show at Dublin with staff members still on payroll at an empty prison doing nothing.
Right.
But they're still taking the taxpayer dollars because she did not reassign them. She did nothing. Right. She let them, she maintained status quo.
Yeah.
Now, folks, she was disinvited to stay at the Bureau of Prisons. But guess where she found a job through her organization?
Where?
California.
Of course she did.
She's now over mental health for the prison system in California.
What?
After being on national television saying she owed none of the women that were raped an apology. Colette, did you think that those women that were being raped by your staff at that time, your staff, what kind of mental health issues do you think they have?
Right.
That you did not provide them within the Bureau of Prisons?
Unreal.
She knew for 4 years. For 4 years, she knew that these women were being raped in Dublin by the chaplain, the warden, staff members. These men were contracting STDs and giving them to the other women.
It's horrible.
But these women got no mental health counseling. Not until the class action lawsuit was filed and a female judge of Hispanic origin had the balls to say, Colette Peters, you will not tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do.
Good.
And got those women out of there and shut that prison down in the state of California.
Yeah.
Colette didn't do that. The judge did.
Right. Oh, I know that.
So this
we
woman
received them into our prison.
Right. So Colette Peters was a piece of shit and did nothing for the women that were abused. But now in the state of California, she is over mental health care for the inmates in the prison system.
That's unreal.
Being paid almost $800,000 to fill this role. Almost $800,000, 700 and some change.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy.
We're going to talk about more shit coming out of California. Now, you know, I've loved California my whole life, for as long as you've been with me.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
That's horrible.
Not anymore. I mean,
That's
I feel
horrible.
bad for a lot of our friends there.
Right.
I feel bad for, what the economy's doing there. But
they keep voting them in. So
you get what you vote
you
for.
do.
Same as right here in Nashville with the mayor of Nashville.
You get what you vote for.
You get what you vote for. I don't even know if you know this. You know Acme, right there on Broadway.
Yes. We filmed there before.
Yes. Okay. This is a historical company that's been here in Nashville
Right.
forever. His taxes went from $124,000 a year to $600,000 a year. And he said, we can't keep our doors open. He said, that right there is more than our insurance and our revenue that we have coming in. And do you know what Freddie O'Connell said? I don't care if he keeps the business. I'm quoting. I don't care if he keeps the business open or not. That's cyclical. That's the way life goes. Old businesses close down, new ones come in and take over. So no regard to history or legacy or anything like that. Leave Acme alone. But if I was the owners of Acme, I would sue the city of Nashville and name the mayor. I would sue that. I'd tie their ass up in court until his ass couldn't be elected anymore. But this is a red state. But unfortunately, all the red has moved out to Williamson County. Davidson is more blue because it's in town. Until you get what you vote for.
Yeah, so true.
That's the demographic there. Mm-hmm. And listen, we currently live within
Yes.
Davidson County.
Right.
So, but we were not able to vote in that election. But I will be able to vote next time. So I just think that it's insane. If you look at Mamdani in New York. Mm-hmm. This guy with a knife tried to stab 2 New York City police officers. It's on body cam, folks. Again, body cams.
Right.
Officers should have body cams on in the prisons as well.
Yes.
Cuts back on litigation, cuts back on abuse.
Right.
It's caught on the body cam. He's coming at them with a knife. The officer shoots him 4 times. Okay, that's self-defense. Guy didn't die. He's in the hospital in New York. Who goes to see this guy who tried to kill those 2 officers?
The mayor.
The mayor. And then makes a public announcement that he should not be charged and his handcuffs should be taken off because he's handcuffed to the bed. Mm-hmm. His handcuffs should be taken off. Crazy. Folks, you're doing this. You're voting them in, and then you want to cry and say, like Robert De Niro is saying, he's leaving New York because he's being taxed to death, and that's his savings is what he has to live off of. And if he doesn't get out of there because they're getting ready to impose this wealth tax in the state of New York, they're all trying to flee, taking their money, their liberal money, and moving to a conservative state where they can hold on to it, where they can bring that bullshit to a conservative state and start trying to change it to be the shithole that you just fled from.
Yeah, I know.
So, which I did exactly what you told me not to do.
Yes,
which
you have been on a tangent
Judy
today.
does not like to talk politics. She was raised in the South by a Southern Baptist minister, very conservative, and you just don't discuss politics. There's no. But I want you to have that opinion. I want you to say what you believe.
No, I do, but you've just been on a tangent today.
Well, I'm on a tangent because I believe very strongly about the things that I have said.
No, I get it.
And because you live with me.
Yes, I do.
And so I want the whole world to come together. And I know that's very Pollyannish of me.
Mm-hmm. Not going to happen, but
if we give up hope of that,
right,
then that means we have to accept that this is going to be the new norm.
Right. That's true.
And do you want that for our grandchildren?
No, I don't.
And I don't want it for our children.
You just keep fighting, Todd. Just keep fighting. Because listen, as long as you fight and you're alive, you're going to live forever.
So folks, on that note, it's a close for Chrisley Confessions 2.2 on this episode because I have to go.
It's 2.0, not 2.2.
Well, folks, on that note, we're going to close out this episode of Chrisley Confessions 2.0 because, as she said, I have to go fight. So until next week, good luck and God bless.